Hi everyone, and welcome to, well, we're virtually at the halfway point of class already, if you can believe it, because this time next month we'll be done. So this is Sophia right here, y'all. She'll be 8 months on August 14th, so in a couple days. So what I wanted to do with you guys really quick is to look at the stuff that you guys have due tonight, which is from Units 3 and Units 4. And I also wanted to address a couple of things from the previous unit. So those of y'all that turned in everything on time from Unit 1 and Unit 2 last weekend, thank you so much for, managing your time over the first 2 weeks of the class. And just remember, you got 2 units due tonight, and then for the following weeks, you'll have 1 unit due each week, but for some of them, you're gonna need to work ahead. Alrighty? So, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. Here, Mama, you want to help me? You can help. Okay. Oh, see, this is real life right here. Y'all talk about how do you balance everything? This is it right here. She's just going to have to tag along with this today. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to our My TCC page and our course page here. And remember, just to log in, it's my.tccd.edu. You can get to it from WebAdvisor. You can get to it straight from the internet. You have the app, all that good stuff, okay? Let's look at Unit 3 first, and then Unit 4, and then what I'll do is I'll go back. Alrighty? So, as a reminder, all of your lessons are on the left side of the page if you were using a full web browser. All right? If for some reason you cannot view your items, then that means the course menu is probably hidden. It means it may look like this. What you have to do is you have to look for the arrow on the left side. If you're on a mobile device such as your smartphone, then you'll have to tap the left side of the screen. Like you might see kind of like a turquoise colored bar. And if that's the case, then that means you need to extend out your menu, and then your options will be visible again. Okay, so skipping ahead to what is due this week. So we are looking at personal finance and financial aid from Unit 3. And this is probably one of the most important units in the book because, well, not in the book, in the course, because we want to make sure that you can not only manage the money that you do have, but as you get that promotion or you change careers or anything like that, that lifestyle creep doesn't settle in with that. That old saying, more money, more problems. We don't want that to be an issue. We want to make sure that you still live within your means. Okay, so it's kind of a twofold deal. This one mainly centers around financial aid, but then there's also a section where you're creating a budget. Okay, so the first thing that you'll do is you'll watch the Prezi's PowerPoint, and what it's going to do is it's going to open up another tab, and it's going to take you here. And then there's the PowerPoint that's here, which is planning your future. So again, this could be you getting ready to graduate from college and moving on to that next chapter. It could be, you've already, quite a few of you have, and you either maybe you're trying to make a lateral transfer, or you're trying to maybe switch careers or figure out what's next because you're nearing retirement. So that's what's here. Creating a budget. So I had some questions about this one before. The Excel sheet, so yes, Microsoft Excel again, is going to be here. So you're going to click on those blue letters to download the Excel sheet. If for some reason you cannot get it to work, please email me and let me know so that way I can try to convert the document or upload it to Google Docs and share the link with you guys, okay? It looks like my stuff from last week worked, but yeah, again, if you cannot open it or you cannot modify the document, please let me know. If you get a message like I just received right here that says enable editing, then you want to click on that. And then what you'll do is on the first tab, this is a sample budget. Okay, so you'll fill in the pay period. If you get paid once a month like I do, you don't have to fill in the bi-weekly stuff if you don't want to. I whatever the last day of the month falls on, that's when we get paid. Okay, and then down here you'll put in the incomes. So this would be your income. The second income would be if there's a second stream of income coming to your house from, let's say, like your significant other. Maybe you have a roommate, or and y'all are budgeting together. You could be siblings that are living together too. That happens a lot. My brother and I actually did room together for a little bit, a very short time, but we did budget everything together. It actually wasn't that bad rooming with him, because he would cook, so it was awesome. Okay. And then it shows here, if you earn more than the estimate, then what's going to happen is everything's already programmed to change color. And then what you can do is you can put in some estimates. You can either work off of the sample tab, which is here, if you'd like to use this as your estimate. For those of you guys that have your own houses, apartments, you've got your own car, like if you have a car note, you're paying your own car insurance and stuff like that, then you can put your actual expenditures in here. Otherwise, you can kind of estimate them if you would like, so ask most family members and stuff if they're paying for you. How much does gas run? What's my car insurance run? If you don't have a credit card, you don't have to put it in there. Health and medical expenses kind of depends on if you're having to pay a premium. In my case, before this little one was born, my employer paid my medical insurance, so mine was $0, and my dental insurance was like really cheap, and my vision was too. Both of them were under $10 a month, and that just came out of my paycheck. I mean, we virtually did not pay anything, and even with that now, I think I pay like $230 a month for me and her. Like it's really not that bad. Car expenses, so not just the car note, like your car could be paid off, like in my case my car's paid off, but I still have the regular maintenance to keep up on it. So whether you're changing the oil yourself and you've got to order the items, or you're taking it to get it done, you need to get the tire rotation, you have like the regularly scheduled maintenance that needs to be done at specific checkpoints like within the mileage, then you've got that stuff there. Your school expenses, so that could be your tuition or the price of your classes, books. A lot of you guys have access codes to purchase now. That's kind of the norm, and it's not just TCC. I mean, for my master's program, that's pretty much all we used, so it doesn't go away. If you're like, I don't like Alex, I don't like Connect, I'm sorry, it doesn't go away. And then you have some other things that are in here too, okay? And then you can estimate all of them, and what it's going to do is it's going to adjust. So remember, in the middle column right here, this is your estimated cost. Then you're going to put your actual cost. What do you think you actually spent? Then you'll have that there. And then what it will do is it'll adjust. And then when you guys upload it, I'll ask you, did anything surprise you about the budget? Were you over? Were you under? And I think that's going to help you make sure that you're adjusting your cost of living. There's some other resources that I have that I use with my in-person classes that help with that. We start with the budget, and then you multiply it times 12. That gives you the estimated yearly salary that you would need to make to live the way that you would deem to be comfortable. And that one's kind of a shocker for a lot of people, because they'll pick out a certain career and they're like, oh wow, that pays more than I thought here in this area, or oh my goodness, that pays nowhere near what I thought it was going to pay, and I'm going to have to either get a second job, or I need to adjust my standard of living. Maybe I can't have that apartment, maybe I can't buy that car, those types of things. Maybe I can't live in that city. Okay, so that's what this will help you with. And then don't forget to save it. Pay attention to where you save it. And then when you turn in your document, then remember you're going to click on the name where it says assignment, creating a budget. And then you'll just browse your computer or tablet. and you'll click submit. And that's how I will receive it. Once you do that, I will get it on my side, okay? Then your financial aid stuff. So there's a financial aid quiz that goes with this section. And these are some of the resources that you can use. So right down to TCC's financial aid code. This is our school code 003626. There's going to be some other questions that reference different types of financial aid, like grants, scholarships, loans, work study. If there's specific types of financial aid available to specific groups, then there's tuition waivers, all those different types of things. It's all in here. And then the quiz itself is here where you would click. And then when you are ready to begin, then you click begin, okay? And then the goal is for you to try to earn an 80 or above, okay? And then that means if you don't earn an 80 or above, then make sure that you email me so we can make sure that you're well versed in, what you're doing with your money, all right? Because that's a lot of money to have some things go wrong with. And I guess while I'm here, I'll bring up what I saw in one of the journals, like that College 101 journal. The number one thing that I saw everybody mentioning was their concern about student debt. So in your case, with you guys starting here, and if you're planning to transfer to a university, you guys won't be in a situation where you're running up hundreds of thousands worth of student loans. Because, like, your degree from TCC, as long as you're in county, shouldn't run you more than $3,000 or $4,000 by itself. And that's like the whole thing. It should be somewhere in that bracket, even with the developmental courses. If you're out of county, yeah, it's going to be more, but it's not going to be like $100,000. And then when you go to your universities, then remember, a lot of them offer transfer scholarships. Those of you guys that graduate with like a 3.5 GPA or higher, which is an A average, they offer some additional like kind of merit scholarships that you can take advantage of. You might be offered to be inducted into Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. That is the honor society for the community colleges. So yes, if you get that invitation, click yes, because most of the major universities will offer you a scholarship just for being a member. So you get recognition for either that or the Cornerstone Honors Program. Some of the area universities have scholarships for transfer students coming out of TCC. So there's one of them in the area, and you'll find out which one it is. Just walking out the door with like even a 2.0, like they will, as long as you go with the full 60 credit hours, that's $10,000 per year that they'll offer you, and that's scholarship money, not loans. Like, you don't have to pay that back. Now, the higher your GPA is, the more money they will offer you. And if you're in PTK or the Cornerstone Honors Program, then you're looking at the $15,000 to $16,000 a year range that they would award to you. And this is on top of your federal financial aid. It's in addition to that. And then that particular university also threw in an extra $1,000 for like going to go visit them and everything. So, and that's just to apply. That's not even doing a separate application, writing essays and stuff like that. That is literally submitting the application and handling your business in class. That is it. And then they still have private scholarships that you can apply for. There's some departmental ones with that particular university. I know one of the other ones offers quite a bit of money for people who are going into education. So in particular, so for my future teachers, you'll hear about it, probably in class. That there's one of them that can offer you a good like $18,000 for that year. To kind of pay for your stuff. So that's why I was saying the money's there. You just have to go after it and get it. And some of the scholarships on our website, remember, just because you don't qualify like right now, you got to think ahead. Because remember, this time next month, you'll have classes completed. So for those of y'all that are in like art appreciation, speech, contemporary math, statistics, English composition 1, those are college level credit classes, and you will have an established GPA by this time next month. And then if you take summer school, that's going to add to it. And when that application reopens in October or November, you'll be a different student at that point. So if you didn't qualify now, as long as you do your work, then you should qualify then. And just, make sure that you've got your references ready to go and use the information from our class to help you write your essay, because they're essentially going to ask you the same thing. That's why I'm having you do the essay. It's for that reason. So hold on to it. And then that way you can use it even for multiple schools. Like, work smart, just change who the center is, change the introduction, change the conclusion. They're all going to ask you about your career goals. Like, this is what I want to be. So you just cut and paste and drop that part in there, make sure the grammar looks good. You can have the writing center look at it and keep trucking. But the hardest one is the first one. Okay. And that's the gist of what is in Unit 3. That's it. So now when you go to Unit 4, then you go to your learning styles, right? Okay, so what we did is we created a sample note-taking activity for you guys, because we have some people that, got through high school and didn't really have to take notes or anything like that. My college roommate was one of those people that didn't really have to go to class, didn't have to take notes because he had a photographic memory. And I kid you not, I think he went to the first day of his Calculus 1 class. He went to all the exams and still, he didn't go to anything else because he was like, I can study on my own. And you know what? He got an A. And his studying was pretty much like playing Madden, but he would review the stuff in his head, and he had a good solid A in Calculus 1. And he was a biochemistry major, and he is a scientist now. Some people have that natural talent. I had to work at it a little bit more. I was an A student too, but I couldn't do what he did. I had to actually work at it. So what you'll do is when you open this up, this is going to be a sample assignment, and we picked a different subject. So we picked biology because a lot of people need some science classes. And then you'll see like the little diagram and stuff like that. That's down here. Yeah, squirrel. Look at the squirrel. And you'll take some notes on that. Sorry, baby. And you'll get to select your style of note taking. So I would recommend that if you're not very familiar with it or you're out of practice, watch the videos on note taking first. They're right here in this folder. And we provided some templates with you. So this is one on how to take Cornell notes. This is one on taking annotating notes. So this is the style I personally prefer. This is the one I did for that I learned when I was a dual credit student. Actually, I learned it in my Composition 1 class over the summer. And I hated every minute of it. But that is the reason I got an A in that 5-week course. It is the reason. And a reason I got an A in that government class that I took that same session. So it's one of those things that the more you practice it, the better you get at it. Like, it forces you to remember that stuff. And it's very good for those really short 5-week or like the Maymester courses that are like 2.5 weeks, because it's going to force you to process the information. And then it actually saves you time. You're just doing the work up front, but you won't find yourself having to pull a bunch of all-nighters because you're having to summarize the information as you go and you can't move on without it. Then what you're going to discover is you're not going to have to go back at the very end and try to reread or review a bunch of different things. Like, you'll retain it as you go. It's going to shove that stuff over into long-term memory versus that short-term memory. And then if you prefer to outline, do story web, all those different types of things, that stuff is here too. Okay. So you're going to take notes on the biology sample assignment. One of those note-taking strategies, pick one that you think will be the most effective for you. Because, we're trying to give you some tools to use for some of your other classes, especially like those of y'all that are going to have like advanced math classes, advanced sciences, things like that. You're going to need something in your back pocket to help you get through copious amounts of material very fast. And then that's also going to prevent you from running into the situation where you read stuff, you get down to the bottom of the page and you don't know what you read, and then you reread it and then you still don't know what you read. This is going to help squash that. Okay. The second assignment down here is the VARK strategy. So this is like your learning styles. So it's going to open up another tab. Excuse me. Don't click on any of the random stuff over here. Let it charge you anything. You're just going to click on your learning styles over here on the left. And look, you can choose more than one thing. I noticed I learned differently than I did when I was 18 for number 1. And then 2, depending on the subject and what language the subject is taught in, I learned differently. So all my life I've been a kinesthetic learner, or I learned by actually I learned by doing things, and I learned by teaching others. So they would use me to tutor other kids all the time. But then as an adult, I noticed that shifted. And then even further, when I had to do stuff for my Spanish classes, and this is me as somebody who didn't grow up speaking it or anything like that, I just had to learn it as an adult. I do better with audio, surprisingly. So with music and things like that, that's the way I learned it. You can hear my music in the background for the baby, right? That's one of the ways I'm trying to teach her both of the languages right now. So yeah, that's one of the things that it may shift on you. And you can select more than one option. And then when you get down to the bottom, you'll click OK. And then it's going to tell you if you are a visual learner, if you're an auditory or oral learner, if you learn by reading and writing, that would be the people that learn by taking notes and outlining and stuff. Or if you're a kinesthetic or tactile learner, you learn by doing or showing others. Okay. Or you could be multimodal, which means you learn by multiple methods. And then make sure you make a note of what style you are, because it doesn't save it for you. So you're going to have to save that information yourself. Okay. Or you can try to hit print and convert the form to a PDF. You can do that too. But yeah, don't forget, don't close the tab or the window without getting your results. Otherwise you have to redo it. I found that out the hard way when I was testing this out myself. Okay, and then you submit your note taking. So remember how I told you that you were going to take notes on this sample biology assignment? It actually gets turned in over here. So whether you're using the Cornell sheet, the annotating notes, or if you're using an outline, then that's where you're going to put it. You're going to drop it here, and then I will receive it. It'll ping on my end, okay? And then you're going to have a sample test. So then what you're going to do with those notes, again, is now you're going to use those notes to take this sample biology test, okay? So we're looking at how you retain the information, and it's like 10 questions. It's not anything super long. I think it's like 10 or 15. But we want to see that note-taking strategy that you picked, was it effective? So this is our way to test it, okay? And then your last thing that you guys are going to have to do for this assignment is you have a discussion board. Under it, right here, when you see the instructions and grading rubric, this is going to tell you how I'm going to grade you and what I'm looking for. So anytime you see a rubric, then that means, we have outlined exactly what we're looking for in your stuff. So making sure that your post is an appropriate link, that you've responded to your 2 people. So don't forget to do that. And if you can think of any other courses that you could use that particular strategy in, or if one of the other strategies, in retrospect, would you say, oh, you know what, I used the outlining strategy, but for this particular assignment, maybe such and such would have been more effective. For my class that I have a test coming up in next week, this is the strategy I would use. Or, if there's something that you are already using and, you're getting straight A's in your classes, I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, So you can also indicate that too. Like, hey, I tested it out. It was effective, but my strategy that I'm using right now, hey, I have a 98 in my math class already, so I'm okay, but it's nice to have some options. You can make sure that you can notate that too. Okay. Oh, I need some water. I know, water. Add one. Okay. And then just remember that I set aside some office hours for you guys every Friday after I clock out for my regular advising job at 5. So from 5 to 6. You're also always welcome to book a one-on-one appointment with me. And then before your major assignments, I'll always have some extended office hours to do as well, okay? For our class, remember, there's no final exam. It's just the final project. Once you finish that, you're done. Okay, sorry, excuse me. My throat got dry. Okay, so make sure that you guys are checking to make sure that you can see that your grades that have been entered in the grade book. Everything that I've received for Unit 1 and Unit 2, so everything that actually made it to me, I've already graded it. Okay, so I'm working on Units 3 and 4 now, as the stuff is coming in, so I'll start getting that back out to y'all, okay? If you turn something in and you don't see a grade for it, check in with me, because, it's possible you could have emailed it to me and it bounced back and I didn't get it. That happens all the time where people are off by a letter. So those are things that, you need to make sure that you let me know. And then that way I can go back in there and I can adjust that for you, okay? If there was a problem with your assignment, I emailed you to let you know, like, hey, I see your submission, but your document is blank. Also in the gradebook, you'll see notes by your assignment. So if it was good, then at least let you know, like, hey, good job, this is a good plan here. If it could have been improved or strengthened, then I made sure to indicate that as well. All right. I'm trying to think what else I saw in Units 1 and 2. The other big thing I saw on the discussion board with Units 1 and 2, besides the concern about student debt, was I saw the concern about the classroom size. So as I told some of you guys, at TCC, the classes aren't really that big. Like, the biggest ones you might see have like 30 people. Most of the time, like, my class size at my campus is capped at 20. My home campus, which is South Campus, we don't have anything bigger than 20 that I'm allowed to teach. Most of the time my class sizes hover between 15 to 20 people. For TCC Connect, they go up to about 30 people. So our class is maxed out. So 30 is like the biggest I've had to teach, period. I haven't had to do anything bigger. When you get to the university level, now it'll vary by the universities. I have been in those very large classes, like not just 100 people. I tried like more like 300. I've done that. Now it is doable, as horrible as it sounds. It really wasn't that bad, because most of those professors have teaching assistants that are graduate students. So that class could have 4 or 5 teaching assistants in there, in addition to the professor. And then what we had were sessions that were called review sessions, and we met every week. And the review sessions were capped at 20 people, and it was the same 20 people that you had in your review session once a week for the entire semester. So it was like a class within a class. So you weren't in that classroom by yourself. Like, if nothing else, you knew the 20 people in the discussion session with you and that teaching assistant. Your professor would stop by. And then also my professors knew me. But okay, what the difference is at that university level, especially the major universities, like the D1 schools, you have to be a little bit more assertive, and you have to actually put yourself out there. So you have to make a point to go up there and go introduce yourself. Hi, my name is, I'm looking forward to learning everything I can in your class. Going to office hours, going to review sessions. Oh, they're gold. The review sessions for when they have an exam. Those are the best thing ever, because it's not just a review paper, but they're going over strategies as far as how to take the test and what the format is, and most of those aren't any longer than an hour. So hop in whenever you can, a lot of times they'll have more than one session. So even with me working 40 hours a week, I was still able to go to most of them. And if I couldn't, then I just scheduled a one-on-one with the professor. Either way, I checked in with them before most of my exams and stuff. My papers, I was okay. But if I had like some sort of like multiple choice exam or something, I checked in with them. And then what I saw is you guys you shouldn't really have that issue because you guys will all be going into the university level as upperclassmen. You'll be juniors by then if you're transferring with the full associate's degree. So you'll be in your actual major classes. You'll be there taking the classes you need to take. And for my institution, even though UT Austin had 50,000 students and 30,000 faculty and staff, it was 80,000 people when I was there. They capped our major classes at 25 people. It was like 25. I think it was 25. 25 people. And by the time I was a senior, my last year there, I didn't have a class bigger than 15 people. So it gets smaller the more it narrows down. And the more specific your classes get. You have the foundational work there because they need to see that you can do the grunt work too, And I know in some cases it may seem like, oh, this is beneath me, why are they giving me this? I don't see how this is relevant. It all builds up, they're kind of building up that endurance for you. So, I admitted I did not like writing those very long papers. It was like, why am I writing this 10-page paper for this class? I found out really quick when I became full-time at TCC and had grant reports to do. And that very first one I had to do, the template by itself was 12 pages. Just the template with the instructions. For the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, it was a grant that we were trying to, that we had gotten. And we had to do all of our reporting on it. And it was for tuition money for you guys, actually. And in total, it was $1.5 million. And my boss, things got really quick when he was like, y'all can't leave. He's like, we have to get this done. We have to get this done tonight. It needs to be submitted before midnight. He's like, you can order in whatever you want. You can have family members bring you some food. He's like, but if you walk out the door, you will not be walking back in here. You come back in, I will have security escort you out, period. That was my real moment. And our report, we ended up writing 25 pages that night, and we didn't get out of there until 11:30. That's the realities of being salary, just because, we got there at 8 o'clock in the morning and, we were supposed to be off at 5. No, when you're salary, you leave when the job is done. But that was also his way of seeing who was really here for the right reason, because like I said, this was all for you guys, and we got the money and everything that we needed, and the $3,000 extension 3 years later for additional tuition and materials for a lot of our technical programs. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you guys don't know about, that we're working on all the time with our community partners. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I saw in there. It was the class size, it was the student debt, and then like I said, it was that had to do with the relevance to real life. I didn't see it right away, but yeah, when that happened, then yeah, I saw it. And I did end up using, my books and everything for my education courses. I kept them. I actually still have them. In my Spanish books, I have them. But some of my other stuff, I was able to sell that to, other students. That was, we could sell that on Facebook and stuff like that when Facebook had its original purpose back in 05 and 06, because it was restricted to university students, and we were in the second wave, I think. I remember the Ivy League kids got invited first, and we were all like, how come we didn't get invited? And then we got brought in with UCLA and Notre Dame and all them. So, that's just my 2 cents on a couple of things and what I personally experienced, and hopefully that helps you guys out with some of the information. Sorry, I keep moving this thing here. So hopefully that helps you guys out with some of the stuff that's coming up. As always, if y'all have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to email me. Ask the questions. If you have Microsoft Teams, you can message me on Teams. If you, you can always drop in during virtual office hours. If you need a one-on-one appointment, or if you want to do a small group, same thing, let me know. Even if it's the weekend, as long as I know in advance, I can do it. I just have to try to do it while she's asleep, but I will try to work that out. Out my hair. And other than that, I'll check in with you guys in another couple of days. So don't forget, your stuff is due tonight before 11:59 p.m. So that's tonight going into Monday. All right, I will talk to y'all soon. Those of y'all that turned in your work early, thank you. Good job. And keep those assignments coming. Take care. Bye.